All right, what's going on, everybody? It's a new episode. It's Thursday when this comes out, but it isn't Thursday we're recording it. That's besides the point. I got a good guest with me today, a great friend of mine. His name's Devin, also known as Devy Kay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
how's it going, man?
Good. How are you, man? I'm glad to be here.
Man,
Appreciate it.
of course, bro. Anytime, anytime. So, for those of you who don't know, Devin, he's a local rapper, a 419 rapper, born and raised.
Yes, sir.
So,
Mansfield, hometown.
yeah. So, let's just get to the beginning of it. Where did the music aspect all start?
Uh, I started listening to rap and got inklings like into the taste of hip hop and the culture and all that when I was 5. I just I remember seeing 8 Mile on TV when I was really young, and that was really my first introduction to it. And then over the years, you'd hear as a kid, you just hear songs on the radio, growing up playing, where your friends listening to at school, all that. And it wasn't until I was about 14, I was really sitting there just starting high school, bored in my classes and all that, like listening to music, just what any other student does. And, maybe I could start writing these rhymes and make
Right.
something of it too. And I got hooked, man. And when I was 16, I got a job and got a car and bought my first junky, studio set up, that little
Right.
closet set up, and just started over the years, just trial and error, recording myself, getting better every day. And, it's the grind. You knock it out and, you're always a student of the game. I mean,
Right. Yeah. Everybody's got to start somewhere.
yeah.
People, even like athletes, they'll start in their backyard just shooting hoops.
Oh,
and
for
then
sure.
Keep going.
It's the dream.
Exactly. So it's just a kid with a dream. So obviously, you just mentioned 8 Mile, Eminem.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
you say Eminem? A lot of people say Eminem's one of their biggest inspirations when they start. Would you say that's one of yours?
yeah, for sure, for sure. I don't think I could ever come close to M. He gets a lot of slander these days, but I'll always be a stan. He paved the way for a lot of people like me. So
Fair enough.
yeah,
Do you have any other so obviously, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see, but Devin has a whole bunch of tattoos. So we were talking about this earlier.
yeah.
But if for those of you watching on YouTube, you can definitely see his tattoos. Do you kind of want to run us down through, like you were mentioning how a lot of them were inspired by other artists? Do you want to kind of run us
Yeah,
down
so just when I started writing raps and recording and making songs, I would listen to them and I'd want to be like those guys. Like, I'd want to be like Kanye. I'd hear Russ. I'd hear, M. I'd hear Hobson, somebody. And I'm like, this sounds cool. And if you're in this, that's what you're trying to be. And when I get there, I want to be like that first rapper or artist who, when they meet their idols, like, no,
Yeah.
dude, I'm a
Yeah.
fan. Like, look, you inspire me. And I listen to Wu Tang. I mean, I got my nose pierced for Pac. I'm a big Pac fan. I'm more of a Pac fan than Biggie, but I got Big Sean and Kanye for One Man Could Change the World over here. I got a couple Russ tattoos. He
Okay.
spoke to me a lot. I got J. Cole on my chest. I
Yeah.
got Mac Miller. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. But,
Sure, man.
I could listen to him growing up a lot. I'm getting more. It's not going to stop. I'm getting Kendrick coming up. I'm getting a tattoo for Nas. I'm gonna get a globe for him. I'm getting.
You a big Nas fan?
Yeah, the world is yours,
A
man.
lot of people hate on him.
If I ruled the world, that's my favorite song by him.
Okay,
If I ruled the world,
There you go.
imagine that.
Yeah.
It's great.
For sure. No, yeah. That's great though. Like I think that's great that you can have those tattoos as like a remembrance of like the people that inspired
Oh,
you.
for sure.
So that's great. So you obviously Eminem. So me and you were talking before we started recording
Mhm.
about some of our favorite artists, and you just watched Logic and Wiz Khalifa last night, right?
Yeah. I
In
went.
Cuyahoga County.
Yeah.
So obviously you mentioned that you liked Logic growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, you.
It was weird how I really got into music. I don't come from a very music oriented family. I mean, my brother has his band and I got my little rap career I'm getting going, but
Right.
we're kind of the first ones I feel that kind of stepped into this music world and we're starting something. And shout out his band Utter Substance, by the way. You can go find them on all platforms as well,
Shameless plug, shameless
Yeah,
plug.
yeah. But no, I remember we went down to South Carolina for my brother's boot camp graduation, my oldest brother's boot camp graduation.
Okay.
And my dad, like, upped the data plan so the family could listen to music on the way down there. And I had Pandora. and that was when G-Eazy first dropped. When These Things Happen, Logic came with Under Pressure. I was already a big
That was a
Eminem
while
fan.
ago.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
was
long
like when
time
we were
ago.
like 12 years old,
That's
bro.
when G-Eazy was like really at
Yeah,
his peak.
yeah. And you know, I just Hobson. I was a big Zane got me into Hobson growing up.
Hobson,
Yeah,
yeah.
shout out Zane. But yeah, man, that was just where it was. I didn't come up with like my dad played this, or you know, my mom played M, but she was into other stuff. So you know,
Yeah.
but that's it. I mean,
For sure, yeah. So did your parents, when you mentioned your mom played Eminem, did they play any other artists like growing up, or was it just like strictly like? Because I know from you and I grew up, my parents just played whatever's on the radio.
yeah. That's kind of how it was. I mean, I remember. A lot of the stuff I listened to, like what I grew up on, is what I like would hear on the radio, like rolling around in my mom's van. Like you can, I catch a lot of flack for this, but I'm a huge Nickelback fan.
Really?
I stand by Nickelback, man. I'm not like album for album Nickelback, but they got a good like
They're all right.
They got
They're
a good
all right.
8 to 10 songs. I feel like people
Yeah.
they just don't like them because they're good. The numbers don't lie. I mean,
Fair enough.
but no, she was Nickelback, Daltrey, you know, all that mom music. Pink, you know who Pink is?
know who Pink is,
Yeah, Pink. My dad listens to a lot of rock. I won't say he didn't listen to anything. Just you know, rock didn't stick with me. That's more my brother. He listened to bands like Disturbed and Slipknot. I do like 3 Days Grace. Blink 182.
They're all right.
Yeah. I dabble here and there.
Here and there, yeah.
I'm a big Akon fan. I like a lot of like 2000s like old R&B, 2010 pop music, stuff like that. That's kind of what stick with me, you know, just what you heard growing up. Like,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah. So, in the previous episodes, I've had athletes and other people on.
Mm-hmm.
So they have like their pregame routines and stuff. But obviously, you don't have pregame stuff. But what do you do? All right, we're back. Sorry, has slight technical difficulties there. Camera died, so if the camera angle's a little different, sorry guys. But where were we? Where were we going before that? Cut off.
Pre-game rituals.
Right.
Pre-game
So before,
rituals.
what do you do to get your mind right? You know, if you're going to write a new song or something, or maybe you're going to the studio to record something, like what do you gotta do to get your mind right?
I'm big on lighting.
Okay.
I feel like lighting reflects the area that you're in and all that. And I'm a very basic dude, so I try to just stick with like a soft yellow light to kind of like fit any mood. But I'll like turn on my little like nice dim yellow lights in my studio, light a couple incense, you know, do a couple takes, warm up the mic, figure out the levels and all that. Drink some water, make sure if I know I'm gonna be there in a little bit, make sure I got some food in my belly. But you know, it's just kind of like you know, it's going throughout the day because first thing I do, I wake up, go straight to work. But
Right.
you know, if you're having a stressful day at work, you can't let that get to you by getting off the clock and not wanting to chase your dreams because you had a bad day or something like that. So it's just kind of keeping that hunger and motivation throughout the day. Like you're going to get home, you're going to do this, you know, you're going to make this beat, you're going to mix this beat, or you're going to write this song and then you're going to record it. It's just a matter of keep feeding yourself that positive energy and all that, just so when you do hit the playing field or something like that, you feel like the guy, you feel like the man. So when I do hit the mic, you know, I'm like really talking my thing and people are going to feel me on the next song, you know. It's just getting better.
So it's just kind of like a way for you to like get whatever's on your chest off your chest.
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, I mean, athletes and everybody else, they have their own place. So like a basketball player has a basketball court to take their minds off things. For you, I'm assuming it's the booth, or maybe it's the notepad and a piece of paper to get your mind off things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's great. So do you listen to certain music throughout the day to give yourself inspiration, or is it just kind of like off the top of the head?
This is why I got a lot of coworkers. This is why I can't complain about my job. They're gonna tune into this. I'm a big music guy.
Okay.
We went to the same school. You've seen me. I always had a pair of headphones in my ears,
sure,
and that's just how it is. I'm allowed to listen to music there all day. So if an album comes out, I can just, if it's an artist I like or someone I just want to tap into, I can just listen to their music, study whatever rhyme scheme they're singing or saying. I can try to pick out, you know, what they did in this production right here and how I can go home and add that to my arsenal of production tricks and get better and just become a better, you know, engineer, producer,
for sure,
artist all around.
Yeah. No, I think that's something important to mention, because a lot of people don't realize how much really goes into making a song or just like
Oh, it's a
studying
lot.
another song. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Some people might just think, like, oh, some people are just born with the talent. They can just
Yeah.
come up with something off the top of their head.
Mhm.
That's not really the case,
Mm-mm.
like you mentioned.
No, it's a. I don't. This might sound crazy to say. I don't think I was really born with any musical ability. It was just years of trial and error of just pounding raps in a notebook. I mean, I got 2 shoeboxes full. I think I'm about 17 notebooks in now. That's not even counting what's on the phone or lost over the years. I mean, it's one of those things you can never be perfect, but you can always reach that next level.
Right.
And I feel like that's the fun in it. That's the fun in being an athlete. It's that master of always being a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things, you can, if you're like me and you don't ever want to settle down or just keep that hunger going, just keep working.
Gotcha.
Always something to do, always something to learn.
For sure. So, obviously you're a rapper, you know a little bit more about music than everybody else. What's something that people don't really understand that goes into making a song besides what you just mentioned that they might not really know? That goes something that's behind the scenes that some people might not know about it.
That's a good question. I don't know. For me, what it was when I was learning how to record my music was, this is going to be a lot more difficult than what I thought because, when you're a teenager, you hear a song or something like, I can do that. Mm-hmm. I feel like, if we're talking about rap, I also feel like that's where the game has changed because if I watch interviews of everybody and everything, and if you go look at the GOATs that we consider, they talk about growing up and hearing Naughty by Nature or Jay-Z or somebody, like, I'll never be that good. Right. But I feel like kind of in today's world, everybody's a rapper. Everybody's got the mic in the closet. Everybody. Because I feel we grew up like, I can do that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the drop-off now is when you hit that wall of this is a lot harder than you think it's going to be, are you going to take the time to sit down and learn the production, learn how to promote a song, drop a song, just even record it to get it to a standpoint where people can enjoy it and it doesn't sound like it's recorded through a cell phone. Right. I got nothing against SoundCloud, but I didn't want that SoundCloud rapper tag. That's why I quit posting on SoundCloud. I buckled down a few years. I got it to where I was comfortable, if I walked in a room and someone was playing my song, I didn't like, does it sound good? Does it sound bad? No, I make it for me. If I'm happy with it and I trust it with my gut, I just go.
That's good. You gotta have that mindset.
Yeah.
If I like it, I like it. If other people don't like it, it's not for everyone.
You can't let other people hold you back.
Right. No, people really don't understand. Growing up, you don't understand the amount of work that goes behind certain things. Mm-hmm. That's great. It's motivational to say the least. That you keep grinding. Even after trial and error, you just keep going with it.
It's an independent hustle, man. DIY. I got this Rust tattoo right here for a reason, man. Everything's yourself. If you believe in yourself, you could, don't let no one tell you what your worth is or what your price is. If you really feel like you got something, just go get it.
Yeah, for sure. So, kind of switching tracks here now. I'll put you on the spot here for a second. Mm-hmm. What is your top 5 artists all time? Doesn't even have to be rappers.
Okay.
Artists
oh man, I run conversations with my homies I make music with all the time. We talk about this. I don't think I can name a 5 greatest, but I think I can name my 5 favorites.
5 favorites, that's fine. Yeah.
If I had to do a greatest of rappers in any particular, not in any particular order, but definitely Jay-Z.
Okay.
Cole, I'm putting Cole up there. If I'm putting Cole, I'm putting Kendrick, but I don't want to count, I don't know. We can count them both, but I feel like they both have the same wave and influence in a way. Because it's when you bring up Cole, it's well, what about Kendrick? Are you more a Kendrick or a Cole fan? So I feel like they both hold that same title.
I'm a fan of both.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Drake, I'm definitely putting M in there. I can't leave M out of there. But I feel like with me, it's just who has the biggest impact. I don't think you can look at numbers anymore just with fake streams and all that.
Yeah.
But my favorites are who I have tatted, and in my eyes they'll be the GOATs and all that, and that's Russ, that's Mac Miller, just I'm gonna say G-Eazy. I feel like I had the slick back growing up. I rocked it a couple years, man.
It's a little controversial, but
no, he just, I don't know. He just made me feel like I could do it, man. But No, just the guys I listen to. Big Sean. Kanye. Kanye's a goat. He is. People put.
Hate on him,
Dude, he's just a genius. He is. If you really, the sounds he makes, like no one, he catches on to things 5 years before anybody else does it. I mean, it's great. But yeah, I mean.
So you mentioned a lot of like older, like more influential people. Do you have like a favorite artist right now? More not necessarily up and coming, but it's more current. So like the Lil Baby, NBA YoungBoy, Robert. Do you have like a certain right now?
Yeah, I did. So this was 2 years ago. I'll tell you this whole story.
Okay.
This was like 2 years ago, and I was up before work one morning. And I was writing, and I don't really feel like I listen to like the mainstream rap. I feel like I have all my own tastes, clearly. But I was like, if you're gonna do this, you got to be in tune with at least one of these rappers that are just popping every day, that you always see on Instagram, always see on just socials in general.
Yeah.
And one I seen the most was Lil Baby, and I've never heard a song from Lil Baby by this point. And this is it's 2022. This is 2 years ago. This is 2020. Like Lil Baby was popping in 2018, but the first song I heard was Something to Prove.
Okay.
And I was like, what? And I played like 4 more songs. I played like Emotionally Scarred, Consistent. It was a lot of the My Turn album. He just dropped it then.
That's
but
a good album.
It is a good album. Then the one before that, I don't know the name. Street Gossip. It's got Global and
that's another good album.
Yeah.
I like that one. Yeah.
Oh man, and I was just like, this guy is incredible, and I really got into him. But I'm also a big DaBaby fan.
Okay.
I like DaBaby.
You just like your babies, huh? No, pause.
Nah.
Hold on.
Nah, I like DaBaby. Cardi B. I like Cardi B. I feel like we're at a point in music you can't deny the
woman aspect,
the female presence. Like if you go listen to Cardi B, you go listen to Megan Thee Stallion.
They're doing their thing,
Coi Leroy. What's her name?
Kid Leroy?
Yeah. No, not Kid Leroy. It's Coi Leray. Is that her name?
Okay.
Yeah, she's good. I don't know. She's got like a hate wave against her on social media too for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I like her. She's got.
Kid Leroy fan? You ever listen to his music?
I listen to him. I like his stuff.
It's a little different.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a fan of his, but
there's like 2 songs I like of him by himself, but
you just gotta be in the mood,
he's got a lot of features I like. Like he's I definitely can't deny his greatness as an artist. Like he's definitely popping. He's got his own sound, and he found his niche.
Yeah. No. Well,
Doja Cat. I can't forget
up.
about Doja Cat. Bia's nice.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. A lot of people always forget that, it's not just a male dominant.
Nah, it's not.
Right now.
It's not.
Females out there doing their work.
Caitlyn. It's an artist Rush just signed. Rush just started his own label. He signed this artist named Caitlyn, and she's great. I actually seen her perform once. She's an incredible performer. She was an opener for a show I went to one time, and she just had it rocking. And they're superstars. They're just like everyone else in the game, and we got to acknowledge it.
Yeah. So you've been making music now. We're switching tracks a little bit again.
Mm-hmm.
You've been making music now for a while.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite moment throughout those years where it's like if someone told you like, if you were to look back in your past, what was that favorite moment you've had since making music? Whether it's like, wow, like this song just really clicked for me, or it was like going to something that was related to it. Or
this is a great question. I love this. Kind of like when an athlete has a good game, they're not in their head thinking too much. They're just playing. And it's kind of the same motive as an artist when you're in the studio making music or whatever. You can't be too up here with it. You just kind of got to go with what's natural. And people will message me and they're like, how long you been making music? And I give you this big old spiel, how I got into it, and just over the years of trial and error. But I've only been releasing since November last year. So when people ask me, I say ultimately a year, because I didn't even really hit a standpoint where I was comfortable dropping music until about a year ago. But definitely this past year where I was making I'm back to back. I made some of my favorite songs. I made a song called Pray For Me that I love. Made a song called All Money In. I made a song called F With Us I love. Another song called J's I made. That's out. That's great. And I just remember being in the studio and just I don't know. I knew what I was making. I was gonna like. I didn't have. I just like, man, I can't wait to get this done. Here's this finished product, and I'd make it. And when I make something and I get done, I don't upload it ever right away. But I'll email it to everybody I know. Hey man, what do you think? Blah blah blah. And when I get they're not scared to let me know something's whack. I mean, I got a lot of people like that in my life. My sister will do it. My brother, my mom will even do it. Like, no, my mom just deaded a song like 3 weeks ago of mine. I haven't even touched it since.
That's
but
a true supporter, though, right?
No,
there.
you need that. You need those people in your corner. But no, I would send them that, and when I would get a good message back, that's when I knew like. All right. But sometimes, like, if you just got that feeling, like, even though, like, Wiz Khalifa, I went and seen him last night, but one of his big things, the way he blew up, was Black and Yellow.
Yeah.
When he was trying to get that into his label, everyone was like, no, we can't, or whatever he was trying to get it into, like, we can't use this song, whatever, and he was like, no, this is me, this is my city, and he trusted his gut. And he put that in, and it just took over global. He got, Lil Wayne on a feature. He got Snoop Dogg with it, and, he did Green and Yellow for the Packers in the Super Bowl and all that, and it caused a wave. So, it's nice to have those people that, will tell you, like, hey, maybe this ain't it. Yeah. But, or when you're out of line or something. But you also got to have that own, like, liability in yourself to know when when something's there, you got to roll with it. Right. You don't want to look back on something and regret it. So.
Gotcha. So how do you personally do, like, if you're in a slump, where you like a creative slump where you can't just come up with anything, or like some like maybe it's like a week where it's like like this isn't working for me right now, like I need to take a break or something. How do you deal with that type of stuff? Because I know like a lot of people, like a lot of artists might come up with that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you just got to figure out your process and what works for you. I mean. You got to do, like, it's all about the mindset. Like, you got to do things that keep yourself in a healthy headspace. And, when you're hitting those writer's blocks or creativity blocks, you just got to know the phases, and it's a process. I mean, we're all going to run into them. It's just how are you going to handle them? Are you going to let it, J. Cole has this, and sometimes you can't wait for the inspiration. You just got to go get it.
Right.
And when I'm hitting that block, if I stop, I'll get discouraged. So even if, it's kind of like being out of the gym, if we're relating it back to the athlete. Like, if you're in a bad slump, shoot yourself out of it. Right. If you take yourself out of the game, or, I'm having a bad day, I don't want to practice.
Yeah.
I'm having I've had a couple bad games, I don't want to start this one. And it's just, as long as you're in there putting them shots up, my bad. But, as long as you're in there getting it up, as long as you're an artist and you're in there working, I mean, you're sharpening your paintbrush, you're getting better with your skill. I mean, keep that momentum going, and that motivation will come back. Just don't stop. Just stay hungry with it.
Yeah, that's good. No. So, speaking of that motivation, would you say there has been one piece of advice that you've gotten throughout your life that's stuck with you since then, or no? That doesn't necessarily have to be from someone.
As cliche as this sounds, like the don't give up.
Yeah.
Like,
I know it's fine. Like, a lot of people come with like these like elaborate, like not elaborate, like my dad told me this, or like my grandpa once told me this, but there's nothing wrong with the don't give up.
Yeah. It's just, I try to follow what makes me happy and trust my gut with what makes me happy, and not let other people influence that too much, and just personally what I want as a human and out of this life, but also just don't give up, because I'm the youngest of 6 kids. All my siblings are doing great. Shout out to the fam. My brother just got a barber business going. My sister's doing great in college. My other sisters are doing great with their families. My brother's got his band going. It's all great, but I had some individuals in my life, that just, you don't want to be 40, you don't want to be 50, you don't want to look back and be like, man, I really wish I'd have did that, or man, I really wish I would have partied less, I really wish I would have saved that money, or wish I would have started up, a podcast show, or worked on my music when I was younger. It's just,
it's all about
going
for it.
Yeah, when you close your eyes, what do you want your story to be? Yeah. Do you want to be, because the problem with our generation, we're all glued to our cell phones. We're all. I love that Logic line. Everybody's looking through the meaning of life through a cell phone screen, and I feel like we would all be a lot happier if we could just click that thing and get out here and live. And the mindset: be content, be present, enjoy your life, smile, read a book.
There's a lot of times when people are just like, you'll be out at a restaurant. How many people are on their cell phones not talking to the person across the street?
Well, it puts you in a slump if you want to relate it back to the slump.
Yeah, and I've been in that situation too. Where I'm just sitting there, I'm like, there might be 2 or 3 people across from me, but I'm sitting here on my phone. I should be sitting there talking to them. That's a good point to bring up. Wow.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, what all do you see on social media now? It's just negative. Everybody loves the negative. What's the bad? We don't want to hear the good things. It's just, you gotta limit what you feed your mind is what you're gonna think. So keep that positive reinforcement. Keep those people in your corner. Yeah. It's all about that mindset. Do things that make you feel good.
It's like you have like a little child. A child's so susceptible to taking in whatever they see. So if you're feeling a child on negative thoughts, you're gonna be negative. Same thing with us.
Yeah.
We're grown. If all you see is negative, all you can think is negative. That's a good way to put it.
There's that quote. Be careful who you surround yourself with, because like who you're around is who you become. Yeah. So if you want to be somewhere in life, and if you want to be at the top of the game, but you're hanging with people with they're on the bench mindset, like they're just content being there, you're never going to get there. So it's just all about that next level, staying consistent.
Wow, no, that's great.
Yeah.
But thanks, man. No, that was great. Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Shout yourself out, bro. Where are you at? Let the people know. Let them know, man.
On every social media platform, Devy Kay 26. That's DEVYKAY 26. Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter,
everything.
Devy Kay all across all music platforms. That's I can't talk. My bad. DEVYKAY. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all of it. Go check me out. Got an album coming in the studio. Before the end of the year. Go check me out though, man. I've dropped over 30 songs this year so far. I got a lot of collabs in the works. Devy Kay's coming, and that's where it's at. So
for sure.
Thanks for having me up here, man.
Of course. Well, we appreciate you, man.